So here are the pieces of my ELMAS 628 Izmir Normal or coffee house water pipe. In this case I got from ELMAS Originale just stem and tray plus wind cover. So let's see the details of the stem. This has been reviewed a number of times, so I would say that most people are familiar with it. Copper down stem, 9 mm wide, which is the traditional diameter of most Syrians, old Egyptians, Tunisians and others. Then, as you can see, it is not an open chamber, it is a traditional one, like in Egyptians, just that until that part it is closed, and then you have this ring of brass welded in, which allows you to put it into the bottle, but is opened. This does not make it an open chamber, as someone might have misunderstood. Then you've got on this model almost always this straight hose port, which is quite practical. Could be bigger as on the NAKHLA, but it's okay. And nice designs. And in this case you always get the decorated tray stand, right, which is decorated on both sides. This is not very important because you don't get to see it unless you're smoking without the ashtray, but it is very nice. Of course it takes male bowls, as most Turkish, and another feature which is typical of Turkish pipes is that they seem to be cast in halves, and then this is sanded down and it's perfectly smooth, but you got on both sides the traces of it being sanded, so plain trays without the core. Not big deal, but many of us were disappointed the first time we had the pipe in our hands. Okay, of course it is quite heavy. Now with this I got this ashtray, which, as I said in previous video, is slightly different, same diameter but slightly different from the one I got with the 639. Mark that you might get any similar one with this pipe, you might get the other one, but there are several patterns and you might have some decoration on the rim, which this one does not have, and you might get like on the other one, this part raised up. Now the funny thing is that this one, which is maybe more beautiful and more practical because the wind cover would not move, this is way lighter than the other one. This is thinner, and I just weighted it and it's 137 grams, whereas this one is 197, so 50 grams difference, about 1/3 heavier, and it is thicker. You see it here, it is thicker and heavier. And as I said on previous video, the wind cover for the 628, or that you get with the 628, even if you request another one you'll probably get that one, it is mid-size and simple decoration. And yes, with most expensive pipes, more expensive pipes, you get this one, which is taller and has a nicer decoration and more ventilation. And then you've got another which is even bigger and wider, which has row of openings in the at the bottom, right? But it will be similar to this one. Okay, now other things I got from ELMAS with pipes, or because I ordered them, are these Pepsi, these plastic mouthpieces, which I use when I got visits, and which are pretty nice. I mean, they're solid colors and much nicer than others I got with other pipes or from cafes in the Middle East. Right, those are probably from Hookah Company. Those are from cafes in Tunis. This is another kind from Tunis as well, like this one. There are plenty of them. Only use them when I've got visits. And something which I recommend you buying, if available of course, are the brushes from ELMAS. Why? Because first of all they fit perfectly a pipe, but because they are higher quality than average. Are very firm, strong and natural hair. This one is for the inner tube, the down stem. Then you've got this other one here for the mouthpiece, the wood inner part of the mouthpiece. And the one I use most is one for the bottles. Actually, this is the only one I use for all my bottles because it's natural hair, very dense, and has this brush at the end, so you don't run the risk of damaging your bottles. Very, very nice, and well, Hookah-Burdar recommended. Well, that's been it for the parts of these pipes, and let's see how it smokes now. Well, so again, this is Hookah-Burdar from Madrid in Spain, and I'll be reviewing today the ELMAS NARGILE 628 Izmir normal, or the typical cafe house nargile, Turkish nargile. This shape is quite usual among several makers in Turkey, and it is the usual one you'll find in cafes. This is the most better known of the ELMAS range because it is relatively affordable. ELMAS abroad, these outside Turkey tend to be expensive, and this in Europe is around 100, it's 99 euros, so around 100 euros. In the States slightly more, actually about the same price. So it is for an ELMAS quite affordable. I've shown the different parts of it. As I said, in this case I just bought the stem, tray and wind cover, and so I'm smoking with jumbo from Egyptian, supposed to be Khalili, but I don't know the maker of these jumbo vase, which suits pretty well this pipe. I'm getting decent clouds from Khalili, black molasses, to which I have added this al-fakhr concentrate, which has glycerine on top of molasses, flavorless molasses, and this is developed for the German market, where you might know that molasses, tobacco, has by law limitation in the amount of glycerine it might have. So quite strangely, um, the state does not allow to sell normal, regular Al-Fakhr or regular NAKHLA or other brands which have developed special tobaccos for the German market with less glycerine or less molasses, but then they allow to sell molasses side or pure glycerine. So in any case, one of the nice ways to smoke this black mussel is by adding some molasses or some pure glycerine, or the two of them, and then you get better clouds and better flavor. Very nice flavor, smoky flavor from this Khalili, and I'm smoking with one of my ELMAS horses. This one is one of the ones which are not completely airtight, but they work for such tobaccos. And it has a very nice velour or corduroy textile of the handle, and as usual for me, plastic mouthpieces in amber color. Amber could be dark red, this is quite usual if you look at antiques, yellow, orange yellow, translucid yellowish, and sometimes whitish, white or off-white, but more often than not it was dark yellow or translucid yellowish color. That's why I chose this, and I don't like at all the fact that ELMAS and other makers do have a blue, a mix of colors and so on. I want them to be as the real things used to be in the past century. I'm enjoying some drink in a Turkish glass, and I've got my red Tarbush Istanbuli or Fez on me. And what else can I say about these nargile? That well, it's a very heavy piece, pretty solid, quite I mean more affordable than others. Mark that beyond the 628, the third 639 I have previously reviewed of the 632, the small Chivele, there are plenty others which are interesting as well, have just different pieces in here. Yeah, one thing I've seen people do with this is trying to purge some smoke when it gets harsh, either by removing the bowl or removing the whole stem, blowing, or just by, without removing anything, just blowing like this. You see smoke coming out. You've got to be careful not to damp your tobacco and ruin your session, but you remove the worst part of it. So experts in Turkey would say no use having a purge valve, you deal with it. If you are good at managing heat, managing colds, and in case of emergency doing as I've done, it will be okay. I'm having a nice session with this horse. I did the airtightness test before putting the bowl on, and it was okay, except I mean I got no bubbles, so the pipe itself and all the unions were airtight, but there's some leak in the horse. This is quite normal with these horses. As I said, out of 5 I have 2 which are completely airtight, others are not completely, but they work well enough, particularly with these black mussels. You'll for flavor, not for huge clouds. And anyhow, look at the clouds. decent for Khalili with some molasses. By the way, when you add molasses, it's advisable to mix it and let it wait for half a day or a whole day or something. I'm using traditional Turkish coals. These are triangular in shape, and well, they add no flavor at all. They're nice ones. And that will be it from my side today. Enjoy. Bye.